the birthplace of motion pictures.
Ever seen beautiful glassware mass-produced?
Why will this cookie cutter improve television reception?
What's the connection between basketball and interest rates?
Industry on parade. A brand new look at our America. Produced on film each week by the National Association of Manufacturers.
Recreation by Uppsala college students of a scene enacted in a drafty building in West Orange, New Jersey in 1892. Does it look pretty hammy? Well, it was very serious business. The birth of the motion picture industry. The hamminess was in keeping with the dramatic customs prevailing on the stage in those early days. The motion picture camera was one of the hundreds of inventions of the fabulous Thomas Edison. The first motion picture studio was designed by Edison, too. A black box of a building with an open roof to let sunlight in, and mounted on a circular track so the building could be rotated to follow the sun across the sky. Last year, the Thomas Alva Edison Foundation turned over to the Newark architectural firm of Frank Grad & Sons a faded photograph of that first film studio and asked them, with nothing more to go on, to reconstruct the historic building, long since torn down. The architects went to work on the problem, and after many months, were able to produce a scale model judged to be an exact replica of what was known as the Black Maria, a studio on wheels. The hinged roof was opened during film shooting by means of ropes and pulleys. Who but Thomas Edison would have conceived of such a studio? Today, finally completed on its old site next to Edison's laboratory, now the Edison Museum, the reconstructed Black Maria is a magnet for thousands of visitors a year, like these junior high school students who have been brought to West Orange by their teacher for a look at the birthplace of one of our great industries. For youngsters, the other Edison inventions, the electric light, the mimeograph, the phonograph, wax paper, the fluoroscope, the alkaline storage battery, the Ediphone, fluorescent lighting, none of the hundreds on the list holds as much interest for young people as that most wonderful of all inventions, the movie. And right here is where the movies were invented and first produced. Attendants who welcome callers point out that the building, like the original, is so perfectly balanced that one man can push the structure, though it weighs many tons. The restored studio is not used for film production, of course. It's hopelessly outdated. But it is used as a small theater in which films are shown to visitors like these who file inside to watch Sandow the Strongman in feats of strength, perhaps, or Buffalo Bill in Colonel Cody's shooting skill, two big hits in a day long before Marlon Brando or Judy Garland were even born. Just as a lot of light is needed in taking pictures, a lot of darkness is needed in showing them. So the roof is closed again. Today's old-time movie is one even these youthful movie fans have heard about, The Great Train Robbery. Lots of skullduggery and action in every frame. If it had a soundtrack and didn't flicker quite so much, it might have a successful revival even today. Not that it won't always be seen and enjoyed anyhow, for The Great Train Robbery was another landmark in the development of a powerful force for entertainment and education that originated on this very spot.
Year after year, more physically handicapped employees are placed in jobs. A great number of these employees work in and around our nation's largest industrial areas. Thousands of employers have found that these workers make excellent employees, that there is less absenteeism, and often they are equal to or better than able-bodied employees. Employers all over the country, recognize that to hire the physically handicapped is good business.
A modern grain elevator? Not at all. These storage bins are filled with sand, lime, soda ash, and the other ingredients used in the making of glass. Scientifically blended and weighed out in batches, the ingredients are brought to the furnaces by means of a wide variety of labor-saving, materials-handling equipment in use here at the Anchor Hocking Glass Corporation plant in Lancaster, Ohio. A batch is deposited in one end of the furnace by an automatic charger and emerges at the other end as blobs of white hot fluid glass, which drop down chutes into preheated molds. Blasts of flame raise the temperature of the mold just before the glass drops into it. That will keep the glass molten while it is being blown and pressed into the desired shape. In this case, the shape of a pitcher. Once around the machine, and the formed pitchers are cool enough to be removed, but not yet cool enough to be handled by anything but the tongs that place them on a conveyor for a trip through the annealing oven. Flames under the conveyor keep the glass warm until it gets into the oven, where carefully controlled heat eliminates internal stress and gives the pitchers what you might call temper. Emerging from the annealing oven, or lair as it's called, each piece is inspected for possible deformity or other imperfection. Now here's something, a silk screen process for applying trim. Decorative designs of all kinds. Painting by hand, he could trim perhaps one pitcher a day, but not as well. Another trip to the oven will dry the finish, which will then be almost as durable as the glass itself. Glass is one of the oldest materials man has put to his use, but it's only in the past generation or so that industrial research has uncovered such amazing new techniques for turning them out. 1,500 different glass items are produced in this one plant alone, in every imaginable shape, size, and color, and for every imaginable purpose.
Television repairman busy in his shop fixing up somebody's ailing TV set. Inside the set is the most complicated arrangement of wires, tubes, and other equipment likely to be found in the home. And yet that complicated tangle is far simpler and far less expensive than it was 10 years ago. Remember those big sets and little screens? And remember what they cost? Well, one of the big reasons why picture size has increased, while set size and price tag have been shrinking, may be traced to developments in plants like that of Centralab, a division of Globe Union Incorporated of Milwaukee. For example, here we see a mixture of fine clays, talc, and other ingredients that will be fused into a ceramic part to be used not only in TV sets, but in control equipment for ships or airplanes, in office machines, guided missiles, safety devices for industry, and everywhere else in the broad field of electronics. Many electronic components now are being made of ceramic, largely because this substance eliminates frequency losses and is impervious to moisture, temperature variations, vibration, and other hazards. Now, in a high-temperature kill, metal and ceramic will be joined permanently. Even more interesting than the application of the methods of the potter's trade is the use of the printer's techniques as well. Here on little ceramic base plates, an electronic circuit is actually being printed in silver paint. On each tiny rectangle is printed a complex setup of capacitors, resistors, wiring, the works. After a trip through the oven to convert the silver paint back into solid metal, leads are attached and soldered firmly in place. Now the units will be coated with a phenolic resin that will serve as an electrical insulator. The printed electronic circuits are the merest fraction of the size of circuits made with conventional methods and materials. Each circuit is stamped with an identifying description, and after that, all that remains to be done is the final testing, and it will be ready for quick, easy installation in whatever electronic device it was designed for. A fraction of the size of older circuits, and it can be made and installed at a fraction of the cost. Two of the reasons why, in the face of rising costs for labor and materials, television sets each year grow smaller, better, and less expensive.
Today, America's distribution system accounts for 67% of the nation's business. Distribution or marketing includes selling, packaging, advertising, transportation, all of the things that happen to a product after it leaves a manufacturer's plant or a farmer's field until it reaches the consumer or user. Distribution is one of the nation's 3 leading economic activities, along with production and agriculture. You may not realize it, but the goods sold by one salesman or saleswoman represent paychecks to 33 other men and women on farms and in factories and in offices.
A demonstration in St. Louis of a problem confronting every major city in the country: inadequate recreation facilities for children, especially in the older, more run-down sections. It's a problem that gets a lot of talk and very little action usually, but not in the case of officials of the Northwestern Bank. Those bankers maintain an expansive parking lot for the convenience of their customers, since parking space is about as hard to come by as play areas in a crowded city. They decided their solution of the parking space shortage could also be at least a partial solution of the shortage of room in which to play. Come closing time, 3 o'clock, and it's everybody out to make room for the kids. The bank resurfaced the lot and had markings painted on it for games of all kinds. In addition, the bankers bought a lot of athletic equipment, part of which is here being set up, in preparation for the daily invasion of small fry from many blocks in all directions. And here they come. When school lets out, brother, get out of the way. The bank also installed lights and pays the electric bill, so the playground can be used into the evening hours under supervision of volunteers from a local community chest agency. Hopscotch facilities, as well as financial stability, help this bank to be truly a good neighbor.